I came to this realization, and maybe it's a little bleak or dire to mention on the podcast, but I'm just like, none of this is going to prepare for the type of flooding that
No,
occurred.
because it's like full body, like swimming pool levels of
yeah,
flooding.
no.
out.
Some people it's like up to their knees, and like they're lucky. You know what I mean?
A lot of my friends are like first floors gone,
Yeah.
floating fridges, floating cars.
So like that's like an actual natural disaster
It
that
is,
I'm
yeah.
not prepared for, and like my EDC can't prepare that or can't prepare me for that.
Especially if you're traveling internationally.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly. What's your preferred EDC snack and beverage? I'm from the Philippines. What's your go-to EDC snack and beverage? They said mine is Skyflakes and bottled mineral water. If you're not Filipino, you don't know what Skyflakes are. They're just like
Plain
saltine.
saltine
Yeah.
crackers.
Yeah,
very,
so-
very inexpensive, available everywhere.
Okay, so this is from Carlos, an aircraft mechanic in the Philippines. Okay, I think Mikey, I don't know, he must be a local celebrity here because we're getting a lot of users from the Philippines. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Carried Away, the weekly podcast where we nerd out about all things EDC gear and maybe try to teach you a thing or two while we're at it. I'm Bernard, the founder of everydaycarry.com, and I'm joined in person
Again,
by our editor, Mikey.
welcome.
So, yes,
So
thank
things
you.
look, setup looks a little different.
Yeah, this is the
We are in true
yeah
third world Philippines edition.
the jet lag edition of the show. So if you're new to the show here, it doesn't normally look or feel this way, but welcome. And here we talk about the latest in EDC gear, answer questions from the community, and review pocket dump submissions from our viewers. And if you've listened before, we just want to say thanks so much for the support. We see you out there, really appreciate it. So before we get into it, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. A lot of you are not yet subscribed, so please do that and hit that gear icon and turn this up to 1.25x at least. We're going to start, as always, with a pocket check. Mikey, go ahead.
And of course, in true jank fashion, our pocket checks are somewhere off screen
Okay,
as we
well,
were
great.
setting up.
But do you have anything new in general?
Just new watch today.
Okay, nice.
It's been a week now for me to stop wearing the Apple Watch.
Uh-huh.
Kind of over it. I'm really enjoying wearing watches again. Regular ass
Yeah.
watches again.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the Tag Heuer Lake
Nice.
Chronograph Jason Bourne edition. And you, what about you? What did you bring to the Philippines?
Bro, nothing. Okay, because so I did bring just a very small knife. The one that I normally have, the round square
the base knife.
Yeah, the base knife. So it's like the titanium frame lock, very small. One thing I noticed in the Philippines, though, I don't think we said, but we are in the Philippines, obviously, right? So that's where Mikey's based. I'm based in Los Angeles, and I'm just here visiting family. So I figured we should record it in person.
Definitely.
But yeah, but when I got here, I noticed there's just a lot more plastic packaging, which is...
yeah, even when we got takeout food last night, every individual piece of snack or bread had packaging, had tape on it.
Yeah, even water bottles. Like normally you can just twist a water bottle open, but here they have like a plastic seal around the twist cap that's already sealed.
Yeah, so it's the plastic ring plus a plastic covering on top of it.
Yeah, so that's why I'm noticing like, dang, I'm really using my knife a lot more, and it's so.
A lot more reason to use it here.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I didn't really bring. To be honest, it doesn't matter what I bring here.
Yeah.
Because so at the time of this recording, I flew in like worst luck ever. Maybe not the worst ever, but not good.
It's up there. It's up there in the worst tier of time to come.
So
yeah, you came in the middle of like one of the worst typhoons we've had in at least 7 years. Yeah, we've had like in where you arrived in Manila, it's like one of the worst rainfall we've ever had.
Yeah.
Like ever.
So I mean, I was glad that I brought a lot of the gear that I already have is like lightweight, waterproof stuff in general. So my carry-on, it's like the Ridge carry-on or the Ridge check-in. So that was weatherproof.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had my Arc'teryx Valence Nomen backpack.
Yeah,
so that's
Arc'teryx jacket as well.
Yeah, and
lightweight, waterproof, technical, classic.
So my Techwear came in clutch there. However, just like everything else, I came to this realization, and maybe it's a little bleak or dire to mention on the podcast, but I'm just like, none of this is going to prepare for the type of flooding that occurred.
Because it's like full body, like swimming pool levels of flooding.
Some people it's like up to their knees, and like they're lucky. You know what I mean? Like other people, it was like their entire house, like the first floor, and then some of the second is just submerged.
A lot of my friends are like first floor is gone,
Yeah.
floating fridges, floating cars.
So like that's like an actual natural disaster I'm not prepared for, and like my EDC can't prepare that, or can't prepare me for that.
Especially if we're traveling internationally.
Yeah, exactly.
Like pointless.
It's like I can, and that's kind of the realization I came to, is like I can do my best to be or feel as prepared as I can be with whatever I have, but like sometimes ultimately like act of God or whatever that is just like
it's too much.
It's too much, and I have to be willing to just like lose it all. Yeah. Like potentially all.
Be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's a saying to be.
Yeah. So I wasn't fully prepared for that. Yeah. And my EDC didn't really come in clutch there. So.
Yeah, it's just like stay safe, stay dry, stay like out of the water as best as you can.
Yeah.
Don't want like that leptospirosis coming in.
Yeah.
So, especially if you're flying in internationally, just try not to get sick. But yeah, even now that you pointed it out, also just going back to what you said, like all of the packaging, I'm starting to notice it now as well. I'm realizing that in addition to like the regular packages, there's just like a lot of plastic and packaging.
Yeah.
Like even opening up like delivery food stuff, they've taped it all to hell. It's kind of annoying. And I've destroyed so many packages already, just like fiddling with the tape and all of that.
Yeah. So at least the knife that I did bring is like very small and just like
thin.
Unsuspecting. So
perfect.
Yeah, and then what else? As far as my watch, I'm rocking the G-Shock MRG. So this is like the titanium one.
Nice.
And I picked it because I didn't want like
a luxury watch.
A luxury watch rather than traveling internationally, but like whatever, like this does everything I needed to. It's like accurate. It's easy to tell the time, especially since we're still working and like I'm not used to the time difference.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, when is our meeting? It's at midnight. Yeah. Exactly. So just had to figure that out. But I mean, I'm not really here to like use my EDC in that way, but it was kind of interesting just to see
how it actually stacks up.
How it's exactly. And you know, for some freak incidents like this, I'm woefully unprepared.
Yeah, but given everything that's happened, as best you can prepare, best you could do under the circumstances. But generally, like we're both kind of like city dwellers. So the big storm was really just like an unfortunate, like super out of your control, not really something you can prepare for as far as like the pocket stuff. Yeah. It's more of like, do you have water? Do you have like a dry space? Do you have electricity? Stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like those are other things to be grateful for in the moment.
Yeah, all of my friends are now talking about like which power stations to now invest in, or like generators and stuff, because that's the one that's coming in clutch more than anything.
Right.
Like extra food, extra water, just like it's so you're so unprepared, and then it's worse than it's ever been. So nobody could really prepare for how bad it was.
Yeah. And so like I come from Los Angeles, California. It's like we have earthquakes, wildfires, that kind of stuff. And like I will admit, I don't have as robust of like an emergency plan set up. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like I don't have like a proper fully set up go bag and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have something in my car. It's like first aid, like tools and whatever, but it's I don't have because the mental aspect of it either.
Because we're mentally we're in the city. We're generally okay. We're not like,
and the weather in LA is like perfect all the time. So
here it's more of like an umbrella more than a go bag would serve you better here.
So I don't know. I think for me, like some of the learnings of this is just like unfortunate, and there is room for me to improve like my preparedness, but ultimately I think I have to be prepared to like
be unprepared.
Completely unprepared. Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the takeaway from this.
So
anyway, so we're and just like this podcast as well, we're doing our best.
This is
doing our best
different
edition.
Setup. Yeah, we're trying. So let's try to get into some of the news for this week, and then I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so first piece of news. This is the Kizer Cormorant Nitro V edition.
Yep.
of this.
Kizer's kind of like been on a roll. It's really kind of hard to keep up with all of their new releases. They suddenly, in the past 3 months, released like at least 2 dozen new knives, all of them like under $70, and they're just like trying a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
this is 69.
There's
Yeah,
like
nice.
just trying everything:
Mhm.
fixed blades, large fixed blades, small fixed blades, and this is one of the standout ones I saw. It's a whole series under the Cormorant brand name, but
Mhm.
then this is the standout design you saw.
Oh
And
yeah,
why is
yeah,
that?
yeah. So it has like this Tetris themed scale to it. I think
Yeah,
it's really cool.
not your usual frag pattern.
Yeah. And I might say they're very bad at Tetris.
I know that
Extremely
piece
bad.
doesn't
Yeah.
even exist,
This doesn't exist. That's 5. Yeah.
and he's not even setting up a T spin. Come on,
Yeah.
he's just landing it in the proper T space
Yeah.
incorrectly.
Yeah. This it's
With a
not
false
good.
piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice change up from frag. I mean, frag is the usual thing you would normally see in
Hmm.
like a grid pattern, right? But yeah, for Nitro V, decent steel,
Right.
G10, really unusual kind of like modified tanto. Here we go again with the modified blades, but it kind of has like a bump on the back where to add space for the thumb hole.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
interesting
yeah,
design.
they're showing how this is like a very fidget friendly sort of
Mhm.
deployment situation where I've seen a few of these. I'm wondering who the designer is.
You
Does it
can probably
say?
see if you scroll.
Maybe not.
Yeah, if you scroll further down, maybe there, further down, a little more.
I don't think it says who
Oh,
the
if it
designer
doesn't
is.
say, then it's
Oh, it says
internal.
designer is Kizer,
Yeah, there.
so just like in-house thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like has a bunch of deployment methods. I'm still probably gonna end up. This is an interesting depiction of like the reverse flick. It's like index reverse flick, but they call it thumb hole. Yeah,
Just throw it all in there.
yeah, and then it's button lock.
And it's front and rear flipper.
Yeah.
It's got the square edge in the
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, I think I've handled the 154 cm version, this more expensive one. I'm not entirely sure, but I know Kizer has like a bunch that are
And
somewhat similar.
and it's also nice, like we were talking about last week, where CRKT had two versions of that nucleus knife. And it's nice,
Yeah,
like if you like the design, but you don't not really sure you want to splash on the big one.
with the material like improvement. Yeah,
and now you have like color options and different material options and different price options. If you like the style, if you want like a normal fidgety $70 Nitro V, perfectly serviceable G10 with a Tetris themed handle, there you go.
I'm wondering if there's like different. I think there is different texture just between the black and the white. Like white looks like, I don't know, maybe
it might be filled in with
Yeah.
a bit more paint or something,
yeah,
or a coating.
yeah. Either way, like
Really standout design too.
yes.
Not really.
Am I a hater? No, no. Well, okay. I'm into retro games and stuff and like pixel art or whatever, and Tetris, specifically Tetris a lot. But like this doesn't read Tetris to me in black and white. If that makes sense.
It's kind of like back in the day in the Philippines, we call them brick games. It was a whole wave of Tetris themed solo electronic game systems.
Yeah.
And all of them were they had the weird pieces.
Oh,
yes. Like the big S piece.
Yeah.
Like the 5 wide L.
Yeah.
L.
I think we had that in the States too. Just like bootlegs of Tetris.
Yeah, bootleg. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I think it's still like a pretty fun knife, and like Kizer has really good fit and finish, and their designs are interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting that they're just, I don't want to say flooding the market. There's just a lot of options now because Kizer is also known to make like really, really high end stuff.
Yeah,
like we've handled like the Milita, the Veratas, and all of those super high end, high premium materials. But true. It's nice to see them flexing also on like
true. Just like G10 Nitro V at like under $70. Yeah. So solid.
And it's on Kizer flash sale. See if there's other stuff as well.
Oh yeah, coming up. Okay.
Cool.
So next we have the Gerber Assert, the Brooklyn Bell edition. So who is Brooklyn Bell? Brooklyn Bell is a professional mountain biker, and she made this design on the blade, and I think the handle is also
her choice of colors.
Yeah. So this is kind of like one of those interesting collaborations with some kind of personality, and it's
You
sort of
you
inspires
have
the
an
story.
Assert, right? It's one of the USA made.
Yeah, so I Gerber, well, they sent me one. They
Yeah.
let me make one. So I think I made mine with a white G10 handle and then the similar like blue,
Tealish.
teal hardware, and then I contrasted it with also orange anodized hardware.
Nice,
So
nice.
I like that contrast, but
Yeah.
this has a different design to it.
It's their crossbar lock as well, made in the
Yeah.
USA.
And then I think also that the thumb this is like an interesting thumb stud because it's like a thumb stud that's
With a slot.
it's like slot in the slot of
It's
what could
screwed
be
into.
it's screwed in, so you can like, I'm pretty sure you can adjust the position of it
Or
within
remove
the
it
slot as
outright.
well.
Yeah.
So it gives you like more deployment options. I think the deployment and lockup and everything on it was fine, and if you haven't handled the Assert, it's kind of like a chunkier bug out, but it's still like in that kind of design of the 3-ish-inch crossbar. It's just like beefier, I would say.
I wish this was like a full finger choil space there.
Oh yeah,
rather than just like a sharpening stop.
Okay. Yeah, now that you pointed that out, I
It's kind of
cannot
bugging
unsee
you,
that. I
right?
cannot unsee this.
But more importantly, we wanted to feature this because it's like even our parent company, Rich, is now doing a lot of collaborations and stuff. And I think it's, how do you feel about like collaborations in general? I think it's just nice variety, and it allows like artistic people to also show what they can do with a platform design, especially since the Assert is something you can customize yourself.
Yeah,
just give you some extra ideas.
Yeah, and I think it's cool when you get design input from just like a different perspective, and then it's made for perhaps like a different market, right? Different demographic. So you can reach more people and just like spread the word of EDC to more people.
And I really like super unusual. Like it's a professional mountain biker has completely nothing really to do with a USA made USA made EDC knife, and then just seeing how that would like work together. Just like, not to plug Ridge again, we just did a collaboration with Wildcat, who's a gamer, right? Like, what does that have to do with wallets? But then the final product is like,
it's pretty cool.
pretty sick art. So.
Yeah, and then like his fan base like loved it, right? Because there's like some physical merch to like connect with the personality. True. So I think it's pretty cool. $200.
Not everything has to be like a Supreme collab.
I mean, I don't think there will be too many more of those in the near future. But this is $200 for this. But what
pricey.
A little pricey. But what are you getting? You're getting USA made, right? And then S30V steel. So
okay, I think S30V steel kind of gets a bad rap. From everything I've used and from everything I understand, S30V is perfectly fine. It was still a premium steel.
It used to be premium,
like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like everything has magically changed and like a really premium steel is suddenly bad. It's just like things are a little bit better.
You just have more options.
Yeah, more options,
and at maybe lower price points. So if you're like chasing specs, then maybe this
might be a tough call.
Yeah, it might be a tough call. But then again, like you also might be somebody who values like country of origin or just like,
and you're just in that Venn diagram of like, hey, it's my favorite mountain biker, Brooklyn Bill. She made a knife. I could use some merch. Support her. Support American made. Why not?
Yeah, but I mean, like I don't think we've mentioned the Assert, just the base knife in the news section.
Not yet. Oh, well, we did before.
We did.
Yeah, it's also in our like best knives guide, I think.
But it's we had like 25, 30 picks in that guide. But solid offering. I think. Enough knives. Knives. Okay. What
something more relevant to travel that you've been doing?
Okay, sure. But I don't know if I would use a.
Okay, so this is the one I put into the news because. So number one, I've been a GR1 user for a really long time, for at least like 5 years. This GR2 in particular is unique because it has an extra compartment in the front. We can pull up a photo of that.
Yeah. You're gonna have to like click into my trackpad. Yeah.
So that's at the front. Okay, so there is a front section to it with a built-in field pocket. So there's that extra layer of organization. It's not just like the clamshell empty main compartment. So there's a front compartment with an extra field pocket on top. But the different thing here is they re-released the GR2. Now it has a quick access pocket here at the top. And I've realized the reason I stopped using the GR1 for travel is I really, really like having a quick access pocket on my travel bag.
Yeah.
Because that's where I put my passport. That's where I put my boarding pass. That's where I put my earphones.
Yeah.
That's where
just
I put
all your quick access stuff. Yeah.
I don't want to have to keep opening the bag. It's just cumbersome. And it's just like, I look for, especially if I'm keeping the bag in like the terminal between my feet. And it's like, I don't want to just like, just that extra step of having to open everything rather than just zip and grab whatever I need from the top, like a wallet. I just need to grab something from the machine or something. Yeah, just that extra layer. The other thing is this has all of the more recent upgrades for Goruck, meaning they're still using 1000D for the exterior, which is like bomb proof. It's proven itself. But then the backing of it, the rear panel and the inside of the straps is 210D. So it's zero abrasion on the skin. It doesn't damage your clothes. If you're like one of those merino shirt packers, it's not going to eat into the cloth. So it's that upgrade plus the quick access pocket for this latest one. So,
I appreciate that. Just maybe we can just pause here. I wanted to point that out. It's like you might think that like you want beefier, burlier materials for everything, like higher number, better, right? But then when you pay attention to the use case, like you're saying, you don't want the most like toughest abrasion resistant material exterior on whatever is like not next to skin, but like the layer after.
And also like the part with the most friction also as you're moving around.
Exactly. There's like so much load on the straps, on your shoulders, on your traps, and then like that would definitely eat into like a merino shirt.
And more than just a travel bag, Goruck still markets this as a rockable backpack. So if you still are gonna use it as part of your workout or as part of your ruck, then I feel like the 210D upgrade has been one of the best things they've done to the mainline stuff.
Yeah.
So the big difference here is they've moved the production of this one to Vietnam. Not that it really matters.
Right.
There's kind of like a rift in the community now that QA isn't consistent between the made in the USA stuff and the made in Vietnam stuff. But I mean, it's a lower price for all of the modern upgrades for the GR2.
Yeah. So this is $395 for the 40 liter.
I think it's the same price for all of them. Oh no, it's a little cheaper.
Yeah. $375 and then was it $385? Yeah.
So under
it's still very close in price.
Because I believe the made in the USA GR2s before started at $405.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so yeah, just balance the features versus the.
So aside from the front pocket, the top pocket, the change in materials, and the country of origin, it's more or less the same.
Yes, it's still generally it's the same design. They haven't changed anything. It's still the same four strips of moly bobbing on the front, on the strap. Same organization on the inside. It's main clamshell opening, laptop compartment in the back, and with the field pocket built into the front compartment. But other than that, so the material change, the country of origin, and the top quick access pocket.
Okay. So if you were to pick up one of these, what size would you get?
26.
Really?
Yeah, 26. I've realized that I want my backpack, my daily backpack, is as good as a weekender, but not as like a one bag. I want it to be like exactly at the EDC-able size. So 21 to 22 is perfect for me.
Okay.
And this is 26. This is actually the size of the 21L in terms of dimensions. The reason it's 26 is the front compartment takes 5 extra liters. That's where the 5 is coming from.
Wait, how does that work?
So the dimensions of length and width. So see this front compartment. This is where the 5L is going to.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is basically the GR1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like an extra front
in depth.
In depth. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like it's exact same dimensions, but it has 5 extra liters. I was like,
length and width are the same as the 21.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. And the 26 is the same size, length, and width as the 34L GR2. So you just get more in that front compartment.
Damn, what would I want?
I think you would like the Robic nylon version of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the final frontier for Goruck for me. That's the one I want to. I'm curious to try. But if you were gonna pick up a GR2 at any time, if you were curious like me for the longest time, now is a good time to get it because it's like all of the modern conveniences and the lower price as well.
Right. Because I think so. The bag that I'm using for travel, I think, is like
21.
It's very small. It is smaller.
Maybe
than
18 to 20, right?
I think it's 18 to 20, and it's just like in a weird geometric like form. I don't know.
We'll have it on screen, but it's the Valence Snowman V2.
V2, yeah.
V2. When's the V3 coming out, man? That's the one.
I think it's coming out. Oh, I'm not gonna say it because
They've been saying that for 4 years.
Yeah, but it's not like common knowledge, so I'm not gonna leak anything. But
all right.
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, 26. Now that you mention it that way, like if I'm getting by with this, granted it is stuffed.
Yeah.
I think.
But then when you get to your destination and you unstuff it, it's now perfect as an everyday bag.
Yeah.
That's my main.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Because I'm never gonna do one bag. It's just not for me. I'm always gonna have day pack and a roller that I check in. That's my immutable travel combo. That's why I want my day pack to be just day pack category.
So I like that, and I think I'm the same way. But I think my ideal would be able to just be so base that I can one bag and just like I have nothing to check and
fair.
Yeah, and just like I'm just out there traveling. I'm not even thinking about my bag. That would be sick. So
I gotta have space for the goodies I'm bringing back though. That's the thing. Check in.
Yeah.
Well, and where are you gonna put in your check-in knife, right? You still need a place to put the check-in of the knife.
True. Well, let's check in with what the community wants to know from us.
Yeah, I'd love to know. I'm always curious how I'm always so curious between the one baggers versus the and the multi-baggers and the season travel, because it's always like the season travelers are always one or the other, right?
Yeah.
Some people are going to swear by the 2-bag or the 3-bag system, or some people are going to swear like one bag's the only way to fly.
Yeah. If you are the rare person that's like, today I feel like a one bagger, and then the other day it's like I'm gonna bust out all the bags in my collection, then
those are the people with like 25 different bags.
Yeah, you're insane. So please leave a comment because I would like to get to know more about you. So that's really cool. Let's look at some of the questions this week from our followers. So every Monday we will post a story on Instagram saying like, hey, what questions do you guys want us to answer? And then you guys can send them in and we'll consider which ones make it onto the show.
They've been really, really good the past few weeks. I've been enjoying answering them.
So we're going to pick one from this batch and we will pick this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
what is Stokes up to?
What is Stokes
up to? Let us know.
They're asking us the questions here, okay? They asked, what is the best thing to carry on a new Cold City Explorer? So I think what they're asking is like, if you went to a city for the first time, like
it's cold.
Oh wait,
or is it like a cold open you're like unprepared?
That's what I thought. I thought it meant like cold as in like no expectations, no research,
no warm up.
You're just dropped. You're just like GeoGuessr. You're just like dropped into a map somewhere.
Why don't we answer both then?
Okay.
This could be a 2-in-1. So just not to assume.
Sure, bonus. Okay, so let's assume temperature cold.
Temperature cold. Packable puffy jacket.
Sure.
Packable puffy jacket and some sort of a scarf or a No, not a scarf bag.
I think that's a waste of space. I think that's a waste of space.
Really?
Yeah. I think if your jacket is good enough, you don't need that.
Fair.
Yeah. But I mean, I will cut you some slack because you're from the Philippines.
And I also never would entertain a scarf or a buff because my neck gets super hot. Like this is like my radiator zone. Yeah. So if I put a hand on it, I'm gonna start sweating.
Okay.
So that's not. Yeah. I'm with you for like packable jacket, lightweight. Clean it up.
No.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you get cold though? I've never seen you cold.
Well, okay, so I run cold already, and I hate getting cold actually. I love cold. So I think also important to consider is that your packable. So this is a compromise again, like where you kind of have to sacrifice between one thing or the other.
Right.
I was gonna say, like, if you want to defend against wind chill, because I think wind chill, people just underestimate wind chill.
Right.
They'll have a down jacket. They're like, oh, it's so warm.
And then the wind cuts.
A slight breeze, yeah. And then you feel it in your bones.
And then with the drizzle too, with the wind, oh yeah, that's gonna
just horrible.
Right.
But then once you add like some kind of waterproof membrane, it's not as packable. So then you kind of have to make that compromise.
And it's also not as versatile because once it starts turning hot, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's not as breathable.
Yeah.
So this is not really an EDC question. This is more of like an apparel question.
Yeah, true.
But yeah.
But then cold, as in dropped in, geo-guessed onto a cold city.
Okay.
You are dropped in the middle of the Philippines.
Sure.
What's the best thing to carry on you? You would say knife?
No. Money. Well, maybe that's just this country.
A secret stash of money.
Yeah.
Like in your shoe or something.
Yeah, that's
I would say, gosh. What I carry myself cold into any other is multi-tool. That's more than a knife, more than a flashlight, probably multi-tool because of the scissors and just in case. If it's like urban, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting like to be in darkness or walking in the woods or anything.
Yeah.
So probably one of my Leatherman multi-tools is going to be my MVP.
Okay, so in that vein, I actually did bring my Victorinox Swiss Army Super Tinker.
Okay.
And my mom just like yoinked it from me. She's like, "Oh, this is so useful. She's using it way more than I am."
Right,
so
right.
I'm just like, "Okay, you can have it. I'll just use my EDC knife for stuff." But that's been proven to be really handy.
Yeah.
I think cold.
I think it's also we're at the point in modern civilization where you're not too rough off unless you're intending to roughing it up.
Yeah.
If you land in any city with an airport
that you would travel to, exactly. Yeah.
You're probably gonna find like a convenience store or a hardware store. So
to be honest,
I like the hidden money answer.
Yeah, but okay, so I don't have a great answer to this question because I didn't read the question right the first time. But I'm as we're talking about this, I kind of remember I'm packing another bag in my day pack, I guess. Just like for
a packable,
it's like a tote. It's a tote.
Yeah.
And that has been pretty useful.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
I recently did a video where I showed off a nano bag, which is just like
Matador packable,
a Matador or a nano bag type packable tote.
It's not. Wait, nano bag is not by Matador.
No, nano bag is the brand.
Oh, my bad, nano bag. Okay, but sorry.
But also Matador also does
packable
stuff.
I think they do have that too.
But yeah, packable tote is nice if you're gonna do groceries. If you're gonna do like a convenience store run, always handy.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I forgot. If I'm traveling, I always have cold, hard US dollars on me because that's kind of like the universal.
Yeah.
Specifically,
who's
US
turning down the USD?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I always, when I went to the States back then, I had like a couple hundred on me just in case.
Yeah.
Something that'll get me to the airport or to the police or to the hospital.
Right.
Something that'll like any cab would accept. I can use in a convenience store. Any emergency.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where my mind went to cash.
Exactly.
So maybe it's not like the most EDC answer, but it is like a practical
it is the safest
answer.
One. That's like like a really practical travel.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what our viewers would recommend then, because they probably know more than me.
Also, if you're bringing credit cards, always charge in the local currency. Don't charge it in your home currency.
Yeah.
Because you'll get double
Forex fees are crazy. Yeah.
Another travel tip.
Yeah. So
this has turned into a travel tip question.
Well, I mean, kind of timely, just because I've been traveling and I'm just messing up left and right. So let's move on.
We're doing our best.
Yeah, we're trying here. So let's move on to a question that was actually a comment on one of our recent short form videos. So Ready Set Watch asks, are there any good less than 3-inch blade knives out there? Many of these knives won't ship to NYC.
Yeah. So while we were prepping for this question today, you were researching
just like what is legal. Yeah, NYC. So I think it like one, we're not lawyers, so
always check with your local law enforcement.
Yeah,
first person to ask.
This can like change at any moment, right? Yeah. So maybe by the time this is edited and uploaded, it's like you just can't carry knives at all, or like you can carry all knives. Yeah. So it might be different, but from what I remember last, so this person's asking for less than 3-inch blade, but I think in New York it's 4-inch. But if you're in New York City, just minus 1 inch. Just like play it safe, subtract an inch,
and mind your own business. Don't like brandish it on the streets of New York.
Yeah.
Just keep it in your pocket.
And I saw like a lot of people would recommend like just fully concealed carry, meaning
don't let it stick out of your pocket.
Yeah, so even a pocket clip is like that would be considered open carry. Yeah. So you could just have it deep in your pocket. So in that sense,
but there's like a billion. Yeah, just like off the top of my head, Para 3 from Spyderco, any of the bug outs. You can get a Swiss Army knife that's not locking. Yeah, and also just keep in mind that like most illegal things are going to be legal, automatic. Gravity knife.
You're not doing any of those. Yeah. Like daggers, stuff like that.
It's also the era of utility blades. You can get like really fancy utility blades.
That's true. And I think a utility blade. So here's another thing though. Like if anybody like stops you and like questions you, like it's kind of up to them to decide like if it's legal or not, which is kind of
that's why I would always recommend like asking law enforcement, number one, and number two, it's still contextual.
Yeah,
like you could be out there with a 1-inch knife, but then if you're threatening someone with it, you're still on the hook. Right?
Yeah, so don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
And then like, so that's why I like what you're saying about the utility knife, because I think that's easier to like kind of justify the cause of like, oh, I'm just like on my way to work.
And there are really nice fancy ones now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you can still fulfill the EDC feel good.
Nerd. Yeah. I did have like one time, and this is just to the point of like, just put it completely in your pocket, and don't like pocket clip it. Was I had I don't know, like a 4.7 Quark TI. This is a long time ago, but it's a flashlight just clipped to my pocket, and I was waiting for the train, and then the police officer comes up and is like,
"What's that?
Yeah, what's that clip on your pocket?"
Oh my
and then
God.
I'm just like nerd emoji. Oh, it's a titanium flashlight. Do you want to see it? And he's like already walking away. He's like bored and annoyed. It's like I'm wasting his time. Of course not. Of course, he's not interested in flashlights.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like just don't attract attention.
Safe,
yeah. Sorry, we didn't.
Don't look for. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't give any recommendation. Like I lived in New York. I lived in NYC for 5 years, and I did carry a knife, but I didn't make a recommendation yet. But
the round square base knife is a good recommendation.
That could work, but I played it even safer, and I really liked the Spyderco Roadie. I think every time
you put me onto the Roadie.
Every time I make a video about like, oh, what's like a legal knife to use in like XYZ, I don't know, go find one. It's good.
It's good.
It's just like this little lightweight, slim knife, and that's why it's so easy to deep pocket carry.
And it's smooth, like it's a smooth polymer, like
and it has like that ugly, cute Spyderco ergonomic charm to it.
It's got that snub nose, Warncliffe blade shape.
Yeah, and you have it's slip joint, and you have to like pinch the blade together.
Yeah, and they turn the round hole into like a detent, like a embossed hole.
Just for you to get your pad of your thumb to pinch it. It's like a nail nick, but for your thumb. It's like very Spyderco to do.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, so you open that and
very ugly cute. You're right.
Yeah, and that was like a serviceable knife for New York City. I mean, I don't know what you would be using your knife for in New York City, but it wasn't like I didn't need like crazy hard use knives in the city like that.
Yeah, unless you're like breaking down boxes.
Yeah, but I think you could still do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
like,
that's my recommendation.
Sub 3 inch is also like the sweet spot for a lot of knife makers. So there's like really the sky's the limit. Just don't go like gravity or assisted open even. Just play it safe. Slip joints are always a good choice, and there's a ton of options like split joint. Tactile Knife has a bunch. Even Spyderco, not just the Roadie, they have a whole UK pen knife. Remember that one? Yeah, they have a bunch of slip joints as well. Take your pick of Victorinox. All of those are sub 3 inches.
Like they have like a boutique in Soho. Like you just walk in there and like buy a legal one, presumably. Yeah. So hopefully that's useful. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the question. Ready, set, watch. And then our last question is from our subreddit. So this is from / everyday carry, the full name typed out here. So I'm just going to call this user IFQ. So IFQ asks, what's your preferred EDC snack and beverage?
This is a great question.
Yeah, so they said, I'm from the Philippines. What's your go-to EDC snack and beverage? Oh, well.
Well prepared.
Yeah, and they said mine is Skyflakes and bottled mineral water. What's yours? So if you guys are like not like familiar, like if you're not Filipino or maybe just like Southeast Asian, you don't know what Skyflakes are. They're just like
plain saltine crackers.
Yeah,
very inexpensive, available everywhere.
Yeah, that kind of an interesting, like of all the snacks to pick, like I respect it, but
And
It's not
the thing is, you really need the bottled water because that thing is
It's
like
so
dry as
Yeah, so
F.
dry, so dry. So do you have a
Yes.
EDC snack?
My emergency snack is always a granola bar. I buy them in bulk and just still stash them everywhere
Okay,
because Gorp is kind of like the
Yeah.
longest keeper of anything.
sure.
Emergency though, my go-to is always a Snickers. I will run into any like
Mm,
convenience store or a vending machine. Snickers
mhm.
is the way to go because it's chocolate, it's sugar, it's nuts.
So some protein and
Some
fat.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
protein and fat.
Okay.
I've when I was based in Hong Kong before, there was a day I was like just walking everywhere and hadn't had lunch or breakfast, and then I was getting the shakes and like super lightheadedness.
Uh-huh.
Snickers instantly fix it. Like just ran for the convenience. Well, staggered to the convenience
Okay,
store
yeah.
and then picked up a Snickers. And yeah, so granola bars that I buy in bulk can be anything as long as it has like the oats plus the chocolate and the raisins or something.
Yeah.
And then if not that, I emergency Snickers. Beverage, yeah, water. I mean, safe answer.
Yeah.
I don't like Pocari Sweat. The
What?
name makes it give it the consistency of the texture. I've never gotten
What
over
is
it.
bro saying right now? What are you talking about?
The fact that it's called sweat.
Yeah.
The moment it touches my mouth makes me think I'm drinking sweat. That's my problem.
That's the basis of its appeal, bro. That's I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is not my EDC drink of
No.
choice, by the way. I just have I have a simple modern water bottle that I usually carry around, and I just have water with like electrolyte powder. I guess that is kind of an EDC-able like DIY drink.
If you want like my official EDC answer, I travel with a very compact GSI Microlight 16-ounce bottle, which is like the smallest insulated bottle you can carry. That's what I travel with because it is the smallest. It's like
Yeah.
the size of a slightly larger Coke can.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's like 16,
not
16
enough for
ounces
me.
is just like 2 gulps though.
Yeah,
But
I need double that minimum
I know.
because I'm just
Yeah.
constantly dehydrated.
But it's the smallest insulated bottle I could find, so that stuck around.
Yeah. And then I will say, like, for me, a snack is actually Trader Joe's dried mango. And it's they're like it doesn't have like sulfur or whatever it is that like preserves it, makes it juicy. It doesn't have sugar added, so it's kind of like mango leather. It is actually,
it is like a piece of leather.
Yeah, it's actually
with a mango sheen on it.
It's actually kind of nasty. I don't even know why.
It's mango jerky.
It's like mango jerky.
Yeah, mango jerky.
It might be like
coming from the land where it is actually made.
That's why I'm like, it might just be in my genes to want this, but it's like also like the health, like not
just depriving yourself of the actual good parts of dried mango.
Yeah, it's just like the idea of enjoying a dried mango.
The distilled essence.
Exactly.
Of what a dried mango should not be.
Yeah, it's really tough. Yeah, it is like.
Does it keep though? Is there a redeeming quality to this? Does it keep for a long time?
Okay, well, it keeps long enough for me to inevitably get hungry and then just tuck
just
into
by actual
and then I just eat it and then so it's not meant to last that long. But I've been known to keep a bag or two in my gym bag and just like pop that out when we need sugar, like at the gym. So.
You're not one of those guys who carries MREs around.
No.
I've never tried an MRE.
Yeah, but like I've seen like the YouTube videos where they review it and like do the whole like mukbang thing.
Yeah. No. I'll stick with the Skyflakes. I think.
Sure. Yeah.
That's punishing enough.
Yeah.
Skyflakes with no water.
Yeah. Pocari Sweat and just like convenience store onigiri, like rice ball. That was my.
That's actually a great combo.
Yeah, but that was like what I had when I was sick in Japan.
That's a Japan classic.
Yeah. So that's kind of like my I don't even want to make the comparison to MRE because like I'm not in that context at all. But I can understand why people like have the nostalgia or like affinity to MREs if they had to eat them before.
Or just like that, or they're just like the exploring the EDC survivalist prepper mindset, keeping that like front and center, even with like EDC snacks.
Yeah,
I don't even know where to buy MREs here, so that would be an interesting thing to look for. Well, because our government actually does assign Skyflakes to our soldiers instead of MREs.
Yeah.
The most cost effective. Yeah. You think you're getting a packed full meal now? You're getting the Skyflakes. Anyway.
Yeah. sky's the limit for cool EDCs
Yeah.
that we can look at next. So
Yeah.
let's just that was my attempt to segue into
Good one.
Yeah, okay.
I get it.
Into the community EDCs. So thank you for the question, IFQ. It's just cool to see what other people water. Number one snack.
Yeah.
I agree. So,
highly upvoted.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I'm gonna upvote this. So let's look at our EDC. So this one we have here is from 1 second. This is from
Carlos.
Okay, so this is from Carlos, an aircraft mechanic in the Philippines. Okay, a lot of
I didn't prepare for this.
I think Mikey is just like, I don't know. He must be a local celebrity here because we're getting a lot of users from the Philippines, which is like fine. That's tight. We love you guys. It's just like unexpected coincidence that okay.
This is not planned.
Not planned. So they said this is the usual weekend carry setup, simple and functional. And what do we have here? So we have a Redmi Watch 4, the Workos HD01 flashlight, right? Leatherman Free K2, so that's like their knife-based tool, a Nikkor NTP31, and then a key stacks and nail cutter keychain. So the NTP31 is their like Nikkor tactical pen, I think. Yeah, this one.
Nail clipper is clutch.
Yeah.
That it looks like it's based on the original Swiss Army knife. That's exactly what my Victorinox nail clippers look like. So it's probably like an offshoot of that.
Yeah.
But nail clippers are clutch. Very, very clutch.
I'm looking at my nails right now. It's like, yeah, I kind of need to.
Panic look at the nails.
Yeah. I'm traveling. Yeah. I don't have everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing I always carry in my travel kit. I always need to have. Have you ever traveled, like you're gone for a weekend and you have like a nasty cuticle that's sticking out?
I have them right now, bro. I've been washing my hands a lot. So my hands are all dried out.
And then it just like snags on your shirt or something. Oh,
yeah.
Nail clipper.
Yeah.
Nail clipper for sure.
So let's zoom out a bit and look at this just like holistically.
He is connected.
Yeah.
Two phones. Smartwatch.
Pretty cool. I like this like, would you call it gunmetal kind of aesthetic? I don't know. It's like dark gray.
Yeah.
And I think
or like industrial black.
Sure. And it makes sense.
Weathered black.
Yeah. What are they again? Like aircraft mechanic?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice use of the K2. Very underrated Leatherman tool, which is primarily a knife with outbound tools in the back.
In the back, yeah. So it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife in that way, but not, because it's like it feels more like a pocket knife folder, like that you can deploy one handed.
Yeah, did they make the Skeletool? Oh wait, that's also Leatherman. The Skeletool KBX is kind of like half of a. So this is kind of like half of the free multi-tool, and then the KBX is half of the Skeletool.
Yeah.
So,
but this feels substantially more substantial and robust than just half of a.
True. Because it has like a screwdriver in the back, a box cutter in the back.
Yeah. Wait, isn't there like the free series that's not the K series?
The T.
That's
the one I have. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What can you tell us about this flashlight?
Workus is a really nice. It's a budget brand.
Budget, right? Yeah. But like enthusiast budget.
Yeah,
it's like a weird. Yeah.
It's the Workos. It's the Soferns. It's that tier of flashlight. Very inexpensive, but very, very fully featured. And they use standard batteries, which is also nice.
Yeah.
And it's one of the brands that are easily accessible here. So.
Oh, that makes sense.
Good one.
Yeah. You
don't really want to spend on like really expensive flashlights, especially if you're working as a mechanic. You're probably like rough and tumble most days. So,
yeah, and these are all like really like durable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Nice. So thank you to.
I think I also have that placemat that he's using as a. That's a very
Filipino. Wow, Mikey the influencer. Okay, thank you, Carlos. Aircraft mechanic in the Philippines. Yeah. Very cool. So let's move on to the next one. So, we got a lot going on here. This one is from, I think Hazim.
Hazim.
Yes. So this is Hazim. He's IT tech in Brunei.
We say Brunei.
I think it's Brunei.
Brunei.
Yeah. If it's not,
I don't know if you even roll the R, but Brunei.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we try. Yeah,
I'm American. I get a pass for not knowing like how to pronounce other countries.
I am a Filipino pretending to have an American accent and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
pronunciation. So
Sure.
fair.
So. so, so I don't understand.
Yeah,
The
he
user
provided a description, but
that I don't
yeah,
quite
well, we're just
understand.
gonna skip. We're not gonna pretend
Yeah,
to
don't worry
understand.
about it.
Don't worry about
it.
it. Let's focus on the
so
carry.
so yeah, what do they got here? They got the Nitro tiny,
Yeah.
on the keychain. What else?
It's like a carbon fiber flash drive.
They got the KeySmart Mini, the 511 EDT multi-tool, Civivi Conspirator in the dark green micarta with Damascus blade,
Nice.
the SOG Powerlight PL 1001 multi-tool,
Another underrated multi-tool.
Travax Contour wallet in brass and black, and then the UL Caliburn GK3 25 watt pod.
It's a vape. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, I was like, where are these specs coming from? Yeah.
Right. So we got another like gunmetal-ish weathered black carry. I really like it. Yeah. So good choice of knife. Underrated choice of the SOG, the power. What? Like this looks like the power pint tools.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't
the very
literally
iconic
what
pivot gear looking pivots.
I think it is. Power
light.
leader. Oh, is it? Yeah, power light. Why? Okay, this is a typo. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the power pint. I think this is the power light, but they both have those iconic like gear looking pivots. Yeah, underrated. And
are those aesthetic or functional? Aren't they like functional in that they like provide compound leverage or something? Isn't that SOG's like whole thing?
Or it's like it ratchets.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not like a free.
It's been a long time since I handled
SOG
multi tools.
I know. They're still using the old logo on this one too.
Yeah.
So it's not the new logo.
Yeah.
So but very well worn.
If it works, keep it.
Very well worn Nightcore Tiny. The Tiny 2 is one of my all-time favorite keychain flashlights because it has the OLED screen on it and it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Comes in titanium and stainless steel and all that. But yeah, Nightcore keychain flashlights are always great.
I think for me, I would rather have something like this than the upgraded version with the screen because like I don't need all that.
Because look at it, it's pretty banged up already.
Yeah,
if it had the screen, then
I personally love a keychain flashlight because I think like that's as much flashlight as I need.
Yeah,
like luckily keychains can pack like the most utility,
especially the modern ones
into size. Yeah, so on the keychain makes sense to me.
What was this? What's this fixie?
No, it's not. I think it's
it's a
the
tool.
511 tool. Yeah,
right.
So it's probably like a single piece.
Yeah.
Just sheathed up, and then
carbon fiber flash drive.
No, I think this is a
this one. No, this one.
Oh, this. I can't. I think that's a key organizer. Yeah, this is the.
That's a KeySmart light.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I didn't see the band on top. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Carabiner system.
Yeah, I got some Damascus
on micarta.
Yeah.
Travax wall with the comb
card tool thing. Yeah.
Accessory. Yeah. Yeah. So pretty unusual stuff. We haven't seen any of these recently.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's like you can tell this person's like very particular with their gear.
Yes.
I think you have to, especially if like you're into this kind of stuff. Yeah. There's like so much.
The vape guys are very, very particular about their stuff. The voltages, the juice, the battery, the everything.
Yeah. So
locked in.
Yeah, for sure.
Very locked in.
And this covers like all bases, I think, except for maybe writing.
Writing,
yeah. Pretty cool. And it's like this I can definitely see just being pocketable.
Yeah.
Like you don't need a bag or anything for like this.
Yeah, because the majority of stuff is hanging off of the keychain.
Keychain, yeah.
And
then this is like the smaller multi-tool.
Very lightweight knife.
Yeah, minimalist wallet. Pretty cool. And then with all that pocket space you save, then you got your little visor over
space
here.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So thank you, Hazim, for this submission. And moving on to our last but not least, this one is from There we go. This one is from @edc.everydaycarry. Yeah, so
I would everyday carry.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that after this.
Yeah, there's a Coco down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, or like some laksa or something. Okay, so thank you to Everyday Curry. They say they are in Atlanta. Their sales translation for a Japanese manufacturer. So their EDC leans heavily Japan made. They say it's minimalist, short slash swimsuit friendly EDC for a very hot July 4th weekend. The star of the show is the still relatively new for me, Heron Mariner, a hugely personal and exciting addition to my watch collection. Next year, goal is to have at least one thing in the carry by USA made.
Jeez,
It's shameful. That's what they said.
Shameful.
I mean, like I
have to be.
I know I have a bunch of Japanese made stuff. Maybe even more than USA made stuff.
I know.
I think it just
right?
depends on like what you prefer.
Swiss made stuff.
Yeah.
Japanese made stuff.
Got a lot of stuff made in China too.
But Arc'teryx is made in the Philippines.
some of it, yeah.
Nike's made in the Philippines.
Yeah, so they have a Herschel Supply Charlie card holder.
That doesn't sound made in Japan.
that is not made in Japan. But the
They'll
next
make
one,
an exception for a swimsuit. Yeah.
So they have their bandana, Kiriko made. It's a Japanese bandana, and then Pilot, I believe it's Japanese pen brand, right? Pilot. Their mini pen. Rovivon is not Japanese.
No, it's not.
Rovivon, I believe, is based out of China. So that's the Aurora A3X flashlight. And then the
Heron is not Japanese either, is it?
No, I don't think so. Like, I don't think it, but I don't know if it's Swiss or not. It is a micro brand.
It is, yeah.
But it doesn't. There aren't too many Japanese micro brands that make these types of sports watches.
The sport watches now.
Yeah,
they're usually the dress watch.
Yeah, like classical dress watches. And then Makusta,
yes.
Yeah, is definitely Japanese. The MC19V, that's this knife. Beautiful knife. It's not even open. It's already beautiful.
Yeah.
And then last was the Metolius carabiner, and I don't think Metolius is Japanese.
Wait a minute.
Hey, they said heavily leans.
Yeah. Or maybe his non 4th of July carry is mostly.
Yeah.
So please submit that one. We want to see the rest of the Japan made stuff.
And like, okay, I also appreciate that this is like red, white, and blue for the July 4th weekend, but it's still like lightweight and like water resistant for those beach activities or whatever you might be doing to celebrate the 4th. So
yeah, nice call out on the red, white, and blue. Like even the knife is like nice and ivory white. G10 looks like. Yeah. Even the watch is like blue and
this is a nice watch.
It is
actually
kind of like a ocean bluish possibly ceramic bezel.
Yeah, maybe
could be.
Yeah.
Ice diver pips.
I'm sure the loom goes crazy.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm curious about this. I kind of want to review more micro brands on the site, just because like I think it's just more accessible, and I think people who are into EDC, like really for like the gear, will appreciate micro brands beyond just the brand name.
And also just like they do more unique stuff.
Yeah, because they can.
Yeah. And it's still the same. They're using the same reliable movements. They're using like the super powered Super Luminova loom and stuff. But then they do twists on the design.
Yeah.
And they come with a story that's appealing and like construction that you won't usually find. Like find a 38 millimeter titanium diver with like automatic movement. You're not really gonna see that from the big brands as commonly as you would from like a micro brand.
Yeah. And micro brands are more willing and able to respond to community feedback. Yeah.
So like version 2 with even better loom.
So you kind of like if you buy into the micro brand and like you build some of that loyalty, then you can kind of like have that connection to the brand. And for some people that's more important than just like,
and it's more enjoyable as an owner as well. Like you're part of the community of the brand.
So
red, white, and blue, perfect.
I also like Rovivon as flashlights.
Yeah, Rovivon's great.
And Japanese pens.
Of course.
Yeah. So
and Japan.
I don't think this is like a shameful carry at all. I know, it's like we're not sponsored by Picard Sweat, by the way. But yeah, so thank you to at edc.everydaycurry. I think that's their Instagram. So you can follow them there. I think
nothing shameful about that.
Yeah. So I think that just about wraps it up for today's episode. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. And if you did, please subscribe. If you're listening through a podcast service and you really enjoy what we do here, please consider leaving a review and positive rating, as it really helps the podcast. And you can follow us on social media for more content daily on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all of that will be linked below. And if you want to be a part of our EDC community, feel free to hop into our Facebook group or Discord server for more real-time discussion with other EDCers. And lastly, if you have any feedback for us or questions you want answered on the show, you can shoot us an email at podcast@everydaycarry.com. So thank you so much for listening to this scuffed episode of Carried Away. I'm Bernard.
Mikey, back in person.
Yes. And until the next one, hopefully there's no hurricane.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Peace.